Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over Stephane Humbert Black Gemstone. I'm going to read off the notes to you from my head before I forget what they are. But they're resins, they're myrrh, olibanum, teakwood, citrus, tonka, and cedar. So it's a really interesting fragrance because I haven't smelled a lot like it, but I've kind of smelled inspiration in other things. The whole Stephane Humbert line is kind of strange because I call it like kind of Egyptian space magic fragrances, and I know that could be like some kind of crazy marketing phrase or word, but that's what they are. They have this like desert vibe inspiration from different deserts and places in the world. But some of the inspirations are also these like supernatural elements, like what would be in this one, and I'll explain soon. They have this kind of weird space alien vibe to them. So I really like that line. It's kind of what attracts me to it because it has this weird space Egyptian ancient civilization smell vibe to it that I really enjoy personally. So the inspiration for this one, I think, was it was inspired by like the cornerstone or the supposed rock meteorite inside the cube at Mecca. I think he changed this to be a little more culturally sensitive to just an inspiration from like obsidian or like molten lava rock. And I don't want to, we can't upset the cultures or anything like that. So, we have to be sensitive with them and everything. But I think the first story before he changed it, the first inspiration was actually very interesting and cool. What I get is I described it to a friend who isn't into fragrances, and I described it as a smoldering hot, red hot meteorite with censer bearers, with the incense and myrrh and everything like that going around this rock, with a squirt of lime juice, a squirt of lemon juice, and kind of this weed note in there. So it's kind of it takes inspiration from a lot of things. It kind of has a black Afghano smell vibe to it because it kind of has this like weird resinous marijuana note to it, and it also. You can kind of get the myrrhs and resins and things, what I've smelled from Mortal Skin before. And I actually got this from a full bottle purchase of Mortal Skin, which I'll be reviewing in not too long. It has this kind of turpentine smell as well, that if you've smelled Comme des Garçons Hinoki, you would pick that up in there as well. And it kind of has that dry, woody turpentine smell as well. Actually, the more I think about it, it is kind of similar to Hinoki, but this is sweetened a lot by the myrrhs and resins and things like that. So this is much sweeter than Hinoki, but it's not sugary sweet. It's a resinous sweet. The citrus is sharp. It's very noticeable, and although it's listed as a top note, it kind of stays throughout the whole fragrance, and it keeps giving it this sharpness, and maybe that's kind of where I'm getting this scalding rock inspiration from. As well as the teak wood, I think that's kind of what's responsible for giving it that kind of turpentine vibe, but it also gives it this oily but dry. I know that doesn't make sense, but it's this oily, dry, thick wood. It's brittle wood. It gives me in my mind like this brittle wood. If you've been on a boat before, maybe you smell the teak wood, but and you can kind of pick it up in here, but it's not like very nautical. This is not at all a nautical fragrance. Let me just get a. Yeah, it's I like it a lot. But it's $300 for 50 milliliters, and I don't like it that much, unfortunately. So my ride probably ends with this sample, which is a shame because I really like it. I wish it wasn't expensive. I can't do $300, fork it out for this. I got a compliment. I've worn this once, and I've got a compliment once. So that's a 1-for-1 ratio. That's pretty good. The person thought it was strange, different, and interesting. So it wasn't an over, oh, you smell so good, but it was like, oh, you smell different. And that's what I want to hear. And that's what we want to hear. That's good. And if that's what you're looking for, a little comment, validation, things like that, then this could maybe swing it for you because it is very different. It's not, Someone can tell you're wearing a fragrance with this because it's not a normal, natural kind of smell, but they can tell you're wearing something very different. This doesn't smell like all the other colognes and things out there. This is very unique, very individual. The closest, I've smelled things that have inspirations from this, but I've never smelled this before. I like it a lot. It's not super thick. It's not a dense cloud. It's an eau de parfum. It has great longevity though. This lasted me until the next day. I couldn't wash it off either. This has insane longevity. But the projection is more personal. It's closer. It's not super close. It's moderate projection. When I was walking, I had a friend kind of over here-ish, and they picked it up. So it does project a little, but this isn't a beast mode projector. There's no correlation between its crazy longevity with crazy beast mode projection. This is a more moderate projector, and that's good because this is something that I feel can be more intimate. I feel it's enhanced by its not strong projection and its long longevity. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this. This is one of those fragrances you just have to smell it to understand it and get it, because it really is just so different and strange. Like my original, what I said, if you're still watching, my original Egyptian space magic fragrance thing, that's kind of what this is. It really does smell like a magical elixir, a potion, something crazy. It's so different, it's in some kind of weird pharaoh lab. If you've ever watched the 2000 Mummy, that movie, something comes out of that. Really it is. And anyways, that's all I really have to say about it. Thanks for watching.